Hey you guys, what's up? What's going on? So as I told you yesterday, I was going to be doing Love and Hip Hop, the reunion, Hollywood. I have been watching the whole entire season, but I just didn't get a chance to recap any of it. Not even that I didn't get a chance, I just kind of didn't want to. I'm not the biggest fan of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, but the reunion is kind of turned up, so I had a feeling I was most likely going to do the reunion episode at least. Normally I do this on my Samore Love TV channel, but I'm trying to clean that one up a little bit, just stick to story times and hair related videos on that channel. So I'm moving all recaps over to this channel. So if you enjoyed my recaps or you like recaps, then definitely be sure to subscribe to this channel because this is where it will be going forward. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So Nina Parker, she's back as the host, and I already knew once Nina Parker is on there, she goes there. Like, she asks those questions that just kind of make people remember stuff that pissed them off during the season, or stuff that they might not have gotten upset or angry about. All of a sudden they'll be like, oh yeah, she did say that about me, and start arguing. So yeah, she's pretty good at the messiness, Miss Blogger Lady. So yeah, they start off with the whole Fizz and Nikki situation where Nikki kind of broke up with him because he found out from Moneice that Moneice and him were living together, even though there was nothing going on. But then she also had revealed that she wanted to have his baby again. She wanted some of his sperm. It's later on also revealed that she's bisexual and she has a girlfriend right now, so I guess it's something kind of serious. Fizz does know about it, her family knows about it, and they're accepting of it. So that could be part of the reason why maybe she wants his sperm again, so she could have a kid that looks like her first kid, and she could still be with a woman. And it would be easier, much less expensive, as opposed to going to doctors, fertility, and in vitro, or whatever it's called, you know, all those other steps that you would have to take. So now Nikki, she was throwing a whole bunch of shade at Fizz, but Fizz, he was coming back strong. Like, at first he was sitting back trying to chill out, but then he started coming back, and she was like, oh, you're mad because they checking for me? And he was like, they only checking to see what next D you're sitting on. I was like, oh, okay, Fizz is usually pretty respectful, but he was going in. I guess he was just over her and everything about her, and how she was like, she wasn't really serious about him. I mean, they wasn't really serious about each other. You could tell that the relationship wasn't really going too far. That was like a hold me down type of relationship. Give me a little sex and that's about it, but we not going to get married and have babies and have a future and live together and have a house together. Like, it's none of that. Don't get it twisted, boo. It was no future thing. So that's the kind of relationship the two of them had. Brandi and Moneice. So now they started arguing. Nikki, she comes up talking about how Moneice always plays the victim. I mean, to be honest, I do kind of feel like in some ways she's kind of right. Like, sometimes Moneice be starting, and then she wants to be like, oh my god, I'm not talking anymore. I'm not gonna let you guys do this to me. Like, girl. You know, but I mean, I like her and everything, but I do kind of feel like, not always, but at times she can play the victim. Sometimes she's just retaliating as well. But she goes hard, and then she don't expect these people to come back hard at her. Like, when she did that thing at her music release party that she had, album release party or whatever, her single release, she just kind of like said all these things about Brandi in front of a crowd of people, bloggers and whoever else, as well as the cameras. And of course somebody's gonna be upset and they're gonna try to retaliate. Princess, she was on some next thug life stuff. She kept on talking about she wanted to fight. She told her to meet her in the alley, but she ain't never want to come. I'm just like, girl, you need to stop it, because you're grown, you're married, and you can get sued because you're attached to money. So chill out with all that. Because if I was Moneice, that's pretty much what I would do. Because I'll be like, you know what, I'm not fighting anyone. I'm not doing this battle. No, you hit me and I'm suing you. I mean, once you get to a certain amount of money, I think that it's all about lawsuits. I mean, isn't that what the Caucasian people do? They sue you. Like, you touch them, you grab them, you pull their hair, you do anything, you're going to get sued. So I think that's the same thing that black people got to do, and stop killing off each other. Like, just sue each other, take your money, and that's it. Keep it moving. So yeah. So now Nina, she goes ahead and asks Masika, oh, what does she think about this? And she's just like, oh, I don't like how they're ganging up on my friend. I was like, why you had to wait until Nina asks you how you feel about this whole Moneice situation? And because both of them, Brandi and Nikki, were both going off saying little things here and there at the same darn time about Moneice. If that's your close friend, you see people ganging up on her, as you said, you also claim this. So why didn't you say anything? You had to wait until somebody asked you how you feel. I was just like, Masika, like, that would have kind of made me tight. My friend is just like, oh, I just feel... Then she wants to start being in it after that. She was saying little things here and there and getting into arguments with Brandi. But it's like she had to be tagged in order to do so. I'm like, girl, this is not the time to be taking the whole speak while you're spoken to thing into consideration. It's not about that right now. So yeah, Brandi, she then started getting heated, talking about how Masika said on social media something about her son. Masika said what she actually said was, instead of stealing from your son, you should use that money to get him braces. That's uncalled for. That wasn't cool. Stuff like that. Like, I feel like you really need to keep the kids out of it, because that's a little kid at the end of the day. I think he's like 2 years old. And then I think what's her name also said something about him, which wasn't cool either. Moneice said that she does not apologize for saying that he's ugly, but she just apologizes for saying it in the public. See, that right there, that's the same kind of victim-ish that I was talking about. At the end of the day, like, that's just foul. Like, that right there, and I'm usually a pretty calm person. Like, I could handle a whole lot. I try to, like, sit down, take deep breaths, meditation, and things like that. But to hear somebody talk about your child... Like, you're not even coming at me right now. Maybe me, I could just, you know, breathe it in, breathe it out, chill out. Alright, we good. But your child, like, that's a whole nother situation. Like, something like that in the hood. I mean, you know, I was just saying you're supposed to sue people. But something like that, it's hard to restrain and keep yourself calm when someone does something like that. So I could definitely see why Brandi was getting so upset and emotional at the time. Even the Max, her husband, was getting upset as well, because he's like, yo, just keep my child out of your mouth. He was about to get up too. I'm like, where you getting up going? But the security and all of them came, you know, they was on point, they was ready. I'm like, why is it that Love and Hip Hop Hollywood could all sit down, chill out? It's like, but why is it that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta can't do that? It's like, are they savages? You know, is it the drugs that make these people act so stupid that they can't even sit on stage and just relax and just talk or argue whatever they need to do? Why you gotta be running up on each other like crazy people with bottles and stuff? Remember? Yo, they be, that was Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. They be doing the most. They can't, their reunions are whack now. Like, I don't even like watching their reunions because it's stupid. They can't even sit down on stage with Nina and have a conversation. But yeah, back to what we talking about, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So yeah, they talk about the whole sex tapes situation, and luckily it didn't get released. Moneice, she's playing the victim. She gets up, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, she gets up, oh, I'm not staying here for that, and she walks off stage like Cinderella, holding her dress, and then she comes right back as soon as the clip is over. I'm like, really, girl? Like, I thought you had a little tougher skin than that. The way you act all the time, you could have sat through that mini little clip. Like, what was the point of going off stage to come right back on the stage? You know? So Safaree, he gets asked about his ex. Of course, that's always going to be something to ask him about Nicki Minaj. Just like, that will be forever a thing, forever and ever. I would actually like to see him back with her, you know. I feel like she just played him out, but that's a whole nother video. I do feel bad for the guy, but at least he's starting to get himself, you know, on the come up. He's starting to do some things. it's just sad that that's always going to be connected to his name. So it's always going to look like he's using her fame to get ahead or something like that. But anyways, so yeah, they talk about her and they ask him about, oh, if he sued her. And Ray J was in the sidelines, like trying to tell him, like, you know, don't say too much. And, you know, I definitely, if I was Safaree, I would appreciate that advice and, you know, him trying to give him pointers and stuff. And Nina did say, oh, I see you trying to coach him over there. He's like, nah, it's because I'm a manager and he doesn't have anyone on his back right now helping him out. So, you know, I'm going to do what I got to do. And, you know, I definitely, if I was him, I would appreciate that, because these people, they can ask you questions, and somebody like Nicki Minaj, that's a big figure, so that can definitely get him caught up in some kind of like a new scandal where it can be like defamation of character, or, you know, some kind of word there that they would use, legal issues, you know, in order to kind of bring him down and get him back, you know, on a bad track. So hopefully, you know, this whole gold digger guy thing that he has connected to his name eventually goes away. But those were like the main highlights that I saw from this episode. I'm not gonna, I pretty much went over a lot, but not every single detail. If there was something that I missed that you thought was significant, definitely be sure to say it down below. And I believe next week is going to be part 2. This was part 1, so I'm assuming there's more than one part. Hopefully it's only 2, and then we can start with Love and Hip Hop New York. I may recap the whole entire season of that, but that will be determined once it starts. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.